October has arrived and Scream Fortress has arrived with it. And as we all know, TF2's a buggy mess. And Scream Fortress, it ain't no different. So I'm here to show you my favorite Halloween-themed source engine jank that you can use to hit a clip on some poor little chungus who's just trying to do their contracts this year. So let's get to it. This Scream Fortress update added a whole bunch of new maps. Now I have nothing to say about most of them, but I have a lot to say about one of them. Dusker is the best map from this update. This map is simple, fun to play, and it looks really good. But the people who made this map made a couple of oopsies when the map first released. Oopsies that let you, well, you know. This map was a little bit broken on release. Now, for most people, something like this makes them enjoy the map less, but to freaks like me, oh, this isn't a bad thing. This is just the icing on the cake. See, off of this cliff is a hurt trigger, a big invisible box outside the map that deals a bunch of damage to you when you touch it. And these triggers are on basically every map you've ever played. And on this map, this hurt trigger is huge, because the amount of physically accessible space off of this cliff is enormous. But all the way at the bottom of the cliff, all the way in the left corner, right up against this invisible wall at the back of the map, there's a little patch of floor that wasn't quite covered by the hurt trigger. So if you could get over there, you could stand here completely safely. Now, if you walked slightly too far forward or slightly too far to the left, you'd die instantly. But just in this tiny corner, everything was completely safe. And if you could get here as engineer, you could build teleporters out here. As Engie, you can use the Wrangler to jump out here. It's pretty far, and you need to be pretty good at Wrangler jumping, but it's very doable if you have a medic to overheal you. But there's a second, much easier method of doing this. And it's as simple as that. Now, once we found this, we wanted to do something interesting with it. Just building a telly out here and laugh taunting people as they die is all well and good, but it's pretty unoriginal. We wanted something bigger, and fortunately, Dusker had just the thing. See, there's these cliffs all around the blue side of the map, and this tiny little spot right here could be stood on. There's invisible walls all around this area, but they don't quite stop you from standing just on this tiny part that sticks out. And this cliff is made out of displacement, a tool that map makers use to make natural looking geometry. And if you've watched my other videos, you'll know that displacements like this allow you to get stuck inside of them. The top part of this displacement is exposed. From one side of the displacement, you see a cliff, but from the other side, it's invisible. Displacements only have collision from the side that they're visible from. And since the top of this displacement's exposed, all you have to do is crouch walk around side to side, and you'll get stuck in the displacement eventually. Now, when you get stuck in TF2, you can do a lot of wonderful things. Most notably for us, is you can trick the game into thinking you have a ton of velocity while not actually moving anywhere. This sort of gives you a potential energy that you can exert onto other players. If an enemy player gets on your head while you have potential energy, they get launched. And the more potential energy you have, the farther they go. I go into great detail on how all of that works in this video. You should go check it out. And as if the stars were aligning, this displacement stuck spot is right in line with the teleporter that we built out of bounds earlier. So we came up with a devious idea. We use a demo man to launch an engineer out of bounds, so he can build a teleporter all the way in this corner. Then the demo man swaps to pyro, and this medic player swaps to soldier with the rocket jumper. The soldier does this tricky rocket jump to get on this cliff edge spot, and then he gets stuck in the wall. Then the soldier fires a rocket at the pyro so he can reflect jump onto the soldier's head. Then the pyro aims diagonally down, sort of like this, directly above the teleporter, and air blasts a soldier a bunch of times. This gives the soldier a massive amount of potential energy. Then, when people take the teleporter, the pyro walks forwards to launch directly towards the player. So you can do something that looks a little bit like this. You're actually traveling so fast as the pyro player that if you have a stomp effect, you can actually just instantly kill people the moment you land on them. When we first set this up, our server was completely empty. So we just set the trap, then stood here waiting around for like half an hour until a bunch of people started joining our server.
Wait.
Oh, people are joining. It's okay. Go. Yes! Yes! Woohoo! That's what we waited 20 minutes for, baby! These clips are so cool. They have so many moving parts, and so many stars have to align for a clip like this to even be possible. But unfortunately, just as I was becoming attached to my beautiful clip, my fun was about to come to an end. See, I saw this tweet from Dave Newblood the Newblood guy, and I'd been playing the map he was talking about all day. So I thought it would be neat to show off the cool tech I found, you know, no biggie. I just posted a video of the clips we'd hit that day. But then, disaster struck. The cops are here, they've arrived. Everyone run, hide the tech, hide the jugs, quick, don't let them see it, don't let They found it. I tried my hardest to reason with them, I really did, but like they just weren't listening, you know? So later that day, while we were in the middle of trying to hit another clip using this stuck spot, it finally happened.
Aww.
Oh man.
Make a tweet. Make a tweet.
Fuck!
Fix this place.
Why did I have to tweet about it? I'm so dumb. I'm so. Did they fix the stuck spot? No, they didn't fix the stuck.
No. Please.
No, they fixed it. No, they fucking no. They fixed the whole thing. They fixed the whole jug. No, why did I have to tweet? Why did I fucking tweet? What am I doing?
You really wanted that cloud for finding a funny thing, huh?
I did this to myself. I jugged too close to the sun, and I was punished for it. But fortunately, there was another glitch that I didn't post about on Twitter. One that's far more problematic than just owning someone off the edge of this cliff. See, when mappers make spawn rooms, they make this big trigger inside of the spawn called a Funk respawn room. This is the trigger that allows you to change classes and loadouts at will when you're in spawn. And one of the most important features of a respawn room trigger is that it stops engineers from building stuff while they're inside of it. But on Htwo, in the red respawn room, the spawn room trigger doesn't quite extend all the way to the ceiling, so you can build teleporters up here. An engineer can reach this quite easily with the Wrangler. You build a level 3 sentry outside of the spawn, then you shoot your Wrangler rocket into your own spawn and use it to rocket jump up there. But it actually gets way worse than that, because the spawn room trigger doesn't extend all the way to the back of the spawn room either. So you can just place a telly right here with no skill or brain cells required. Now, I went into a game for a little while to do this, and it was kinda funny. I just sat in the ceiling taking pot shots at people. When the enemy team caught on, they started camping the teleporter, and something pretty magnificent happened. I telefragged someone up here. That's so good. That's the best clip of all time. Now, this was funny for like one game, but to cut a long story short, I actually went and reported this one to the mapper. And at the time of this video releasing, this has been fixed on live servers. Now, I know some of you are going to call me a killjoy in the comments, but let me just let you in on a little secret. I love TF2 tech. It's the best part of TF2, but there's two types of tech, if you can even call it that I've always hated. And that's building sentry guns inside of walls where they can't be damaged by enemies, and there's glitches that let you get into the enemy spawn room. I've never liked these glitches. They're always far more evil than they are interesting. The main use case for using a glitch like this isn't to hit some fancy clip that everyone thinks is awesome, it's to ruin the game for everybody else. Like, go and Google TF2 teleporter in spawn exploit and try and find me a single video that isn't someone just completely preventing half the enemy team from playing the game at all. So maybe I'm a killjoy, but I think the game would benefit from one less map that lets you go into the enemy spawn and spawn camp people. Feel free to argue with me in the comments, because I'd genuinely be curious to hear your thoughts on it. Now, as for the other thing that got patched, listen, that's on me, alright? I know there's a chance that the mappers are watching this video, but I'll just come out and say it. I wouldn't have reported this one on purpose. I really wouldn't. I'm sorry. I miss it so much. Look at how cool this clip is. What if you like patched it back in, you know? What? Halloween spells have been in the game for over a decade, and usually they just tend to make the Halloween maps, like, you know, even more of a clusterfuck than they already are. This game's so bad. I'm dead. That kills me. But some of the spells have got some really interesting tech to them. Let's start simple. The pumpkin bomb spell lets you spawn your own pumpkin bombs that you can then use to pumpkin jump with on any class. The minify spell is also very buggy. Back in the day, you could use the minify spell next to a displacement basically anywhere, and you could clip out of bounds when the spell ended. But this got patched in a rather intrusive way. Nowadays, if you're too close to a wall or ceiling when the minify spell ends, you just sort of unceremoniously drop dead on the floor for no reason. I mean, I guess it stops you going out of bounds, right? Or at least it's supposed to. The invis spell, like, you know, sucks really bad, but if you play pyro with the hot hand, you can attack people without it decloaking you, which is completely pointless because you're not actually invisible with the invis spell because the spell's completely garbage. But like, I don't know, it's funny, maybe, I don't know. But now that's all the boring stuff. Now we get to the good stuff. The teleport spell fires a projectile that teleports you to wherever the projectile lands. This projectile can hit enemy players, which lets you do some really interesting things because you can airshot people with it. Now, I suck at TF2 too much to actually do this in a real game, but a player named Halicon did manage to hit this in a real match, which is, you know, where I stole the idea from. His frag movie's in the description, you should go check it out. But the teleport spell lets you do one other interesting thing. If you get stuck in an object, then give yourself a ton of potential energy, you can then throw your teleport spell to get unstuck at will, and you'll be launched at the same angle that your velocity was directed in. Now, this all sounds really exciting, but sadly, the teleport spell only exists on 2 maps. One of them is Hell Tower, and the other is Sandcastle, which is a De Groot Keep reskin. Sandcastle is obviously pointless, because even if you could get stuck somewhere, there's no way to give yourself speed because you don't have any primary weapons. And Hell Tower doesn't really have any stuck spots to speak of. You can use a tele-trap, where you build a teleporter underneath another building like a dispenser or sentry, but there's not many spots you can do this in. But if you were really persistent, you could hit a clip with this. Now, I'm not going to do it because it sounds like it will give me a disease, but like, you can do it, it's free, I'm giving you the tech, you know? Now, the best spell, and truly the main reason I'm talking about spells in this video, is the blast jump spell. You have 2 charges of it, and when you cast a spell, you do a big pencil jump directly upwards, and you heal yourself a little bit. The nice thing about this spell is that when you use it, you maintain all of your momentum. So if you were already traveling horizontally at a high speed, using the spell will maintain that high speed for the entire time you're in the air, which lets you do some really exciting things. Oh yeah. This map's called Dynamite, and if you plan on doing anything fancy with the blast jump spell, I highly recommend you do it here. The map basically has no invisible walls anywhere, so you can fly over everything. And the only spell on this map is blast jump. All of the other spells are disabled, and you get the spell as a drop from enemies when they die, so you can pick them up very easily. And the map has this launch pad at spawn that lets you fly all the way across the map as any class. But if you wanted to do this on another map, you could always use pumpkin jumps. This is much easier to do with an overheal from a med. Ooh, I hit a headshot! But you can do this without it. As long as you're far away enough from the pumpkin, you'll survive the explosion at 125 HP. The only problem is if you jump crouch before shooting the pumpkin, you can't scope in while you're in the air. So to scope in after a pumpkin jump, you need to crouch walk from an elevated place before destroying the pumpkin. There's also Sandcastle, the De Groot Keep Halloween reskin. This map has this invisible wall off the side of the cliff that's meant to stop you from standing on these rocks out of bounds. But you can use this ramp as a surf ramp to gain a bunch of speed, then use the blast jump spell to carry all of that speed all the way across the map. Now, if you want to try and do this sort of thing on a map other than Dynamite, I do have one last piece of advice for you. It's really important, so like listen really closely. Don't bother Doing this for more than 5 minutes unironically took years off of my life. Almost every single Halloween map that has spells on it is evil. And not evil in the awesome Halloween spooky way, more like in the, you know, the people who made this game are going to hell in real life kind of way. The spells on Htwo only spawn every 2.5 minutes, and the spell you get is random. So you can sometimes get really lucky and get blast jump all the time, or you don't get it for 45 minutes and you lose the will to live. And there's other people running around throwing legendary spells at you. And at regular intervals, Htwo spawns these janky ass skeletons to follow you around and kick you in the knees. You're just constantly fighting for your life on this map, and the clip is just not worth it. If you want to do this, go play Dynamite. That map is actually good and isn't made by fucking Satan. The work of art you just witnessed is 100% regular TF2 gameplay. There's no mods involved. I didn't download a skin from Game Banana or anything. This is exactly what the gameplay looked like for everyone in the server. And if you too want to be a really scary skeleton, it's extremely simple to pull off. On Koth Toxic, there's these vats of acid at either side of the map. And there's a hurt trigger inside the vat so that when you fall into the acid, you die. But the mapper thought that it would be a cute idea to also have a second trigger here that turns your ragdoll into a skeleton. But there's a few problems with the way this works. First off, the damage trigger in the acid only does 300 damage. So if you can climb out of the soup fast enough before taking your next tick of damage, you'll survive. And the trigger that turns you into a skeleton will have done its job. Terrifying, I know. Damage resistance will also reduce the amount of damage the trigger does to you. The battalion's backup and the dead ringer can allow you to survive one tick of the soup's damage before dying. But if that all sounded too complicated, don't worry about it, because it actually gets way worse. Because you can become a spooky skeleton without taking a single point of damage. If you jump into the acid, dip your toes in for just a super short amount of time, and then jump out again, you won't take any damage from the hurt trigger. But all of the other triggers inside of the vat of acid will work just fine. And if you now go into third person, you'll be like a really scary guy. You'll know you've done it successfully if a big green particle effect appears and your character makes a sound as if they were set on fire. Now just make sure not to walk too far into your own spawn room, because the spawn rooms have a big trigger inside that turns you back into a normal person. These were seemingly placed there to fix this bug from last year. Now the reason this works is because of a small oversight from the mapper. The trigger that does damage to you has a 0.10 second delay set on it, whereas all of the other triggers don't have this delay. So as long as you enter and exit the soup within 0.10 seconds, you'll survive without taking a single point of damage. Pyro can dip his toes into the soup without crouching, then use the jetpack to get out of the soup before you take damage. Scout can do the same thing by double jumping, and Demo can put sticky jumper stickies into the soup, then dip his toes in and detonate the stickies to launch himself back out. Soldier can become a skeleton without taking damage, but it actually requires a little bit of skill to do. You need to walk off the ledge, then crouch super late and fire a rocket at the side of the vat just like this to get back out again. Classes like Heavy and Spy are able to survive one tick of damage from the soup, but they don't have the mobility to climb out of the soup on their own. You can swim in the acid for a sec before dying, but the ledge is too high to climb out of on your own. But if you have a friend on the opposite team, they can play Pyro and fish you out of the acid.
This was good.
Oh! Brutus! Fucking Brutus! Now, you might have noticed every time I become a skeleton, I'm stood there A-posing very ominously. Well, the game didn't expect you to be able to touch this trigger while still being alive. So doing this successfully completely breaks your animations. And technically, the skeletons in TF2 actually have the rig and animations of a sniper. And if you use certain taunts, like the Yeti taunt, you can actually hear sniper voice lines even when you aren't playing sniper. But I did test it, and even if you become a skeleton as sniper, your animations are still broken. So the A-posing skeleton is clearly the only way to go. Now, being an A-posing skeleton has some upsides, outside of being, you know, really, really scary. If you don't wear any team-colored cosmetics, players can't tell what team you're on, and they have a really hard time of seeing what class you are. The skeletons also have really weird interactions with sentry guns. If you hold crouch, the sentry gun is completely unable to shoot you. All of the bullets will seemingly fly over your head. The rockets it fires will still hit you, but the bullets will do 0 damage. And all the other stuff about being a skeleton is just like goofy and dumb, but this part is unironically broken. And as far as I can tell, me and my friends were the first people to discover this bug. We found this bug on the 10th of October, and I uploaded the Spooky Skeleton Frag movie to my second channel on the 16th of October. But when I went searching around for videos about the bug, I found nothing. In fact, the oldest video about the bug is a YouTube short made by LED, and this was released on the 18th of October. So unless LED knew about the bug a long time before releasing the short, we seem to be the first people to find it. And after we started using it in casual, news of the bug started spreading incredibly fast.
Yeah, I showed how to do it.
And now he's a skeleton. Now he's gonna Ferrari bomb people as fucking skeleton. Look at him. Oh, he's nuke. Oh, he had a clip. But if you knew about this bug from before the 10th of October, let us know in the comments, because I'd be really curious to hear about it. Now, to end off my spooky Halloween tech video, I'm gonna show you all the clips I gathered that didn't manage to make it into the rest of the video. And I hope you enjoy. Oh, it's a nuke. Oh, it's a nuke.
Going.
I just airshot someone. Do it to him anyway.
How do I? Oh, no.
There's a second sniper there.
I've tried. I swear. Every single time I try to do it, that exact thing happens.
I'm gonna create a... Oh, no, I'm not. Fine. Bro.
He got 3 achievements.
Spooky.
Oh my god, the triple Putus is scarier than any skeleton. Boing! And I'm out. Yes.
Give me it. Oh, I missed.
I got fucking crit airshot. That's insane. What? What?
Yeah.
What? Mate, put him in.
Do not go in the teleport. I never expected the second skeleton.
I don't know how he does it.
Dude, how does he have time to do that all that?
Yeah, but can't you just like...
That's so fucked. That's so funny. Hit it. Oh my god! Oh, I'm like I'm fucking particle accelerator.
Oh, they're keeping me overtime at the bone factory.
The bone zone. The bone zone.
They're really working me to the bone out here, you know what I'm saying? They're really working me to the bone.
I'm going bad.
You could just pill the
You
telly
could
in the grog.
you could pill the telly in the grog.
You can pill. Imagine you spawn. What do you do?
No, you telly a sniper down there and he just like he clicks on people and then he just looks down and you're he's fucking gone. Wait, you look like you're snorkeling. I look up. Like... Thanks for watching.